The fog rolled in without warning, thick and heavy, swallowing the forest in a cold, gray silence that made even seasoned soldiers uneasy. Visibility dropped to barely a few meters, and every sound, every snapped twig, every distant rustle felt amplified. For the rookies on their first real operation, it was overwhelming. Their breathing grew shallow, grips tightened on their rifles, and training began to blur under pressure. They had been briefed about the terrain, the risks, the possibility of ambush, but nothing prepares you for the moment when you can't even see your own squad clearly. "Stay tight, keep formation," their squad leader whispered urgently, though even his voice carried a trace of tension. Then it happened. A sudden burst of gunfire cracked through the fog. The rookies froze. "Contact! Contact!" someone shouted, panic breaking through discipline. Shapes moved in the mist, unclear, shifting, threatening. Enemy forces had already surrounded parts of the unit, using the fog as cover. Orders were shouted, but confusion spread faster than control. One rookie dropped to the ground, hands trembling. Another fired blindly into the haze. "This is bad. We're blind out here," one of them muttered, fear creeping into his voice. At the edge of the formation, barely noticeable until now, stood the rookie. She had been quiet since the mission started. No unnecessary talk, no attempts to prove herself. Her gear was standard, her uniform unremarkable. To everyone else, she was just another new addition, someone to keep an eye on. But unlike the others, she wasn't panicking. She was listening. Through the chaos, through the gunfire, through the fog, she was reading the battlefield. "Cease fire," she said calmly. No one listened. "Cease fire," she repeated, louder this time, her voice cutting through the noise with unexpected authority. A few soldiers hesitated. Something in her tone made them pause. She stepped forward slightly, eyes scanning the shifting gray. "Enemy commander is giving orders from the rear. Northwest, elevated position." The squad leader frowned. "You can't see that." "I don't need to," she replied. Another burst of enemy fire tore through the air, hitting dangerously close. "We don't have time for guesses," someone snapped. She ignored him. Slowly, she lowered herself into position, steadying her rifle with practiced precision. Her breathing slowed. The chaos around her seemed to fade, replaced by a focused stillness. Wind direction, sound delay, echo patterns. She adjusted her aim, not at a visible target, but at a calculated point in the fog. To everyone watching, it looked impossible. "Don't!" the squad leader started. She fired. The single shot cracked sharply, cutting through the fog like a blade. Then, silence. For a moment, nothing happened. The rookies held their breath, unsure. And then, the gunfire stopped, completely. The enemy's coordinated attacks collapsed into confusion. Shouting could be heard in the distance, disorganized, panicked. Within seconds, the pressure lifted. "What just happened?" one rookie whispered. A scout moved cautiously forward into the fog. Minutes later, his voice came over the comms, filled with disbelief. "Enemy commander is down. Single shot. Clean hit." Shock rippled through the squad. All eyes turned to her. She was already standing, calmly reloading as if it had been routine. "That's not possible," the squad leader said under his breath. He walked toward her slowly. You had no visual." She slung her rifle over her shoulder. "Didn't need one." The rookies stared, their fear replaced with awe. "Who are you?" one finally asked. She paused for a moment, as if deciding how much to say. "Just a rookie," she answered simply. But the squad leader wasn't convinced. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I've seen shots like that before, only in briefings, classified ones." She didn't respond. "You're not new," he pressed. A faint, almost invisible smile touched her lips. "No," she said quietly. "I'm just back." Later, when the fog lifted and the mission was reviewed, the truth began to surface in whispers. Records were checked, old files reopened. A name, one spoken only in advanced sniper training, started to circulate among the command staff. A legend, a ghost, a sniper credited with impossible shots, missions that shaped outcomes no one publicly acknowledged. And now, she was standing among rookies, pretending to be one of them. Back at base, the same rookies who had panicked now watched her differently, not with doubt, but with respect that bordered on disbelief. One of them approached her quietly. "You saved us all," he said. She shook her head. "You held your ground. That's what matters." "But that shot!" She looked out towards the horizon, where the last traces of fog were fading. "Sometimes," she said, "all it takes is one bullet in the right place." The rookie nodded slowly, understanding more than he had before. War wasn't always about numbers or noise. Sometimes it was about the one person who could see clearly when no one else could. And in that fog, when fear took over and vision failed, the rookie had never been lost. She had been waiting, watching, and when a moment came, she ended the battle with a single shot.